We're here today at Larford Lakes doing some filming, and Christian recently did a video showing his seat box setup and how he sets all his bits and pieces up. And the video had some questions on how I do mine, so now I'm going to run you through my seat box setup. So starting with my actual box itself, this is a Preston carbon box, and unfortunately they don't do them anymore, but this is my favourite box I've ever had. And it's literally just for one reason really, because obviously the frame itself is made of carbon and the foot plate itself is made of carbon, so it's really light to actually carry and move around. So I really like this box, and I'm going to try and make it last for a few more years hopefully. And yeah, this is how my box actually comes. So like when I get to the bank, I have this toolbar on the front, and this is all left on my box every time I go fishing. There's no need to take it off, because whenever I go fishing on matches and stuff, I'm always going to put some keep nets in. So my toolbar just lives on the front basically, and as you can see, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actual brackets where my keep nets just attach into. And when this toolbar actually comes to you in the packet, it comes with all the brackets facing towards the water basically. And what I do is I just take the screws off and adjust it so all the brackets face up, and that's just for two reasons really. One is to make the actual keep nets a bit closer to you, so if you do drop a fish in or happen to have a mistake and the fish drops in and stuff, it's more likely to fall in the keep net. And the second reason is, if you have the brackets facing outwards, you're more likely to actually kick your keep net off and the keep net go in the lake and stuff. So I just like to keep mine nice and upright, and as you can see I actually have 5 brackets on. I think when it comes, I think it only has 2 in the middle, and I think I have to add an extra one in to make it 5, and normally if I fill 5 keep nets I've had a great day's fishing. So that's how it comes. And then if I am going to put 5 nets in, these bits just attach out like so to give the nets a bit more room, and I can do that on either side like so. So I've got loads of room for all my nets and stuff. So yeah, that's my keep net toolbar attachment. And then the next thing I always put on when I go fishing is obviously my side tray. Now this is another item that lives on my box. This is just the side tray support arm, and it's always at the right height really. Like for whenever I go fishing, it's always at the right height. So all I got to do is swing him out to about there, so it's nice in the middle of my actual side tray when I put it on. So I'm just going to actually put my side tray on now, and as you can see it comes in 2 pieces. And this is just a Preston extra large Ventilite side tray, I believe it's called, and it just comes in 2 pieces, and I just keep it in my net bag, and then when I'm fishing I can get it out and just attach it together nice and quickly like so. And then it's got 2 nice brackets just to attach them to my box legs, which should be in about the right position. Just open them up like so and just clip him on. When he's about the right height there, clip him on. Now we're set up today just on a bit of a slope, but normally when I'm actually fishing I like to have it nice and high. So obviously when I'm reaching for baits and reaching for hooks or catapults or whatever, it's obviously not as far to travel to actually get to your bait and your catapults and stuff. So I always set this up at the maximum height I can, but today it's a bit awkward because we're on a sloping bank. But that's my side tray, and then when he's on, all I do, just move that support arm into the middle like so, so it's supporting the full tray. And then when I actually do put my tray on, that support arm, I like to have my tray just pointing a little bit of an angle, if that makes sense. It's pointing a little bit upwards, so then when I actually put my bait on and stuff, it's going to drop a little bit, so it makes up for that basically, because I don't want it drooping all the way down. So that's nice and securely on. And then if it's a warm day like it is today, that's pretty much all I do with my side tray setup. On rainy days, there's 2 things I like to add on. These are some brollies. So I've got in my bag 2 Preston brollies like so, grey ones, and they just clip into place like that, but then they're straight. And what I like to do is just screw them out, just undo the actual arm on them, and it's got like a little angle thing inside. Can you see the angle bit inside? And I just screw them into there, so it's at nicely at an angle now, and just screw him in. And then I've just got on the actual tray like a brolly bracket, and I think you can get them separately, and I just clip them onto my tray. So I've got one of them, and he just pushes into there like so. Push him nice and low, so I don't want him really high. I want to actually protect my stuff if it's going to rain like so. And then that's sometimes how I have it, and if it's going to absolutely howl down all day, I've got a second brolly, and they actually come with this brolly bracket thing, like this long arm, and I just attach it on this back leg under the actual tray itself and just clip him on like so. Nicely clicks in, and then I just do exactly the same with this brolly, it just from behind the actual tray. This is just to really protect everything. If I know it's going to be windy and rainy all day, I'll set this up. Does not very often, to be honest. More in the winter and stuff when I'm trying to get nice and settled. So he's nicely set up on an angle again, and he just pushes into that brolly bracket like so, nicely at the back of the tray. Set them all up at the nice same height, nice and low to the trays, so obviously any rain and stuff, it's just nicely protected. And that's my rainy side tray setup, like so. And then when I'm actually fishing, my my landing net handle, all I do is literally just keep it in between my box and my side tray like so, so it's nice and easily accessible to pick up to net fish and stuff, and it just rests on my keep nets at the front. So that's just where I keep my landing net handle. And that's that side of the box set up now. And then if I'm pole fishing, more in the winter to be honest, I actually have this pole support. This is a Reeve one, and this has extra long arms. These are, I can't remember how long they are, but these are the extra long versions instead of the little short versions, and I like that. Just because it keeps the support arm away from you a little bit more, so you've got a little bit more room to actually hold the pole, and I just feel like it's a little bit more stable. So I got these extra long arms made. I think Reeve do them, but these ones were made for me. And I just have this nice nice ripple one at the front here, so I can move my pole. So if I'm fishing two lines left and right, I can easily move my pole. Instead of having the one with grooves in, where you only like got a few positions to have your pole in, I like this one because I can move around the toes going left to right. I can have my pole slightly to the left or the other way around and stuff. So yeah, that's basically my pole support. It doesn't come out very often in the summer, but more in the winter I find it really, really important, especially when skimmer fishing and stuff. So that's that support arm. We'll take him off for now. And then my pole sock, he goes on pretty much every time I go fishing. He just slots on this front leg like so. And then I really like this one because obviously it's got the two different compartments. Obviously it's got a little pole sock and it's got a tulip. So when you're double shipping, your big sections can go in the pole sock and your little section clips into the tulip. And when you're fishing nice and fast, shallow fishing for F1s and stuff, you can just clip your pole nicely in that tulip and it's not going to go anywhere. Nice and small as well, not really big, not just one little pole sock where you're scrambling for your pole sections and stuff. So I like to have this double pole sock on. And then the other thing that goes on every time I go fishing is this tulip. I think it's 12 tulips, so lots of top kits can go on there. And this pretty much always goes on this back leg here. And depending on how much room I have, depends on the angle it goes on. What I like to do, my preference is just to have it off to the right hand side like so. So then obviously I can have all my top kits going to the right, just down there. But obviously if there's no room to the right, what I can do is just swivel them round. And sometimes I like to have them set behind me or at an angle, all depending on the room I have really. So that's basically where all my top kits and rods and stuff go. And I like to have it nice and low so it doesn't get in the room of the way of the pole when I'm fishing. Because obviously if I had it up there and I've got my pole in there, it's going to get in the way of all my top kits and stuff. So I like to have it all set up nice and low and just out of the way. And that's pretty much my seat box setup for all my pole fishing now. And then I've got two little bits which I do obviously for rod fishing. Obviously I have this small rod rest arm and he just goes on this left hand leg like so, and I like to have my rod set nice and low to the water, so depending on where the water is where he goes. But I don't actually ever adjust him out, because for my 10-foot Superior rod, which I always fish with, the second eye of the rod is always butted up to that V, so I like that. If a fish tries to pull away, it's never going to pull my rod out. So I always set my rod rest up like that, slightly to one side as well, so I have a little bit of an angle with my rod when I'm actually fishing, to see liners and bites and stuff. So I always set up slightly to the side. And actually on this rod rest itself, it just has a V. Like this is an old Preston V this is, and I really like this one. For one, like I've already spoke about, my rod just traps nicely in position there and it's not going to pull away if I get bites and stuff. And then it's also got this little slot in the actual middle. So imagine line actually rests in that. Instead of resting on some rests where your line can get trapped on the rod rest and stuff. If a fish pulls and the clutch is going, the line actually has like movement. Basically, it has an area where it can actually move, so never going to have a broken line or anything. So I really like that rod rest. And then moving on to the actual bat rest, this just lives on my box all the time, this does, and it's just this little Preston U attachment, and it's basically quite like a grippy thing, so obviously I can push my rod rest into there, it opens and closes like you can see, and my rod butt will just trap in there, and then when it's fishing, my rod's never going to go anywhere because it's butted up to the V and it's trapped in the U at the butt end. So that's my actual butt rest attachment, and this can go up and down. Obviously it's got this clip here where this thing will go up and it'll go down, all depending on trying to get the rod tip nice and low to the water basically. So that's my bat rest, and he just lives on my box all the time. So yeah, I think that's basically covered my seat box setup and all the attachments I use. And yeah, let's get some fishing done.